Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where we've got lots of information for you in our news section, current affairs, and we will be chatting to Patrick Shaw, part 2, in your call. And you know, the first part was really well received, and those of you that weren't able to get it, you can go onto the YouTube website on www.goldcircle.co.za. I can't believe how many people ask me how to get the show. You know, you'd think by now people should know.
Go on the Gold Circle on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little app there, and
good to see Pat. You can see what type of audience we got.
Yes.
Yeah.
James, I'll willingly talk football after Spurs drew 1 each away at St Mary's, Southampton. But you must have been chuffed with your inconsistent bunch.
Yeah, no, they're wonderful, aren't they?
They haven't scored 3 goals in 12 minutes for about 20 years.
Yeah.
And they had 4 goals in about 18 minutes. They played very good football. And without Sanchez, the deal's going through. You're losing Sanchez to United. He's had a medical.
Yeah.
But if Liverpool win tonight, which they should beat Swansea, the only team in the top 6 who didn't win will be Spurs. You know, had a draw.
Yeah. But Manchester United burgled a win.
Yeah, hard fought, yeah.
Completely burgled.
Yeah. Could have gone to Man City were eventually too strong. You know,
they would win eventually.
And Chelsea were too strong. So the league stays what it's like.
Did anyone get kicked out of last man standing?
Oh yeah, can you believe it? From 350 to about 250.
I saw there was quite a big turnout.
The boys have come with their money.
I've got Liverpool tonight.
Okay. I've got Liverpool tonight. I'm with you, Jim.
Yeah,
I'm with
you.
So
we're with each other at last. Thank goodness.
The
we
first
were all
time,
on the same page. First time ever. You know, I normally go Southampton and knocked out the first round, but I couldn't go against Spurs, and I certainly wasn't going to go with Spurs. Come on, you Spurs! After Coy's got beat, I wasn't very
caught
happy.
On the line. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go and have a look at 3 to follow. We start at the Vaal on Tuesday. Let's do the Sting first. Okay.
3 to follow.
It's been a long week. Cape Town, and no water, can't wash, stink like you.
Terrible. It's a hell of a problem. 26th of April is deadline when they'll have to start queuing up for orders.
Don't worry about it.
I'm just telling you.
I've seen more fake news on Donald Trump's website. So they'll be okay. Don't worry. Those carpenters, they can make a plan. There's lots of water.
How do you make a plan for water?
Yeah, there's lots of water there. Don't worry. Desalinators and everything. They've got everything going there. Anyway, we're wishing that everything comes right for them. They're getting rain this week, which is fantastic. But let's go and have a look at the Vaal. On Tuesday, Mike de Kock stepped out first-timer, and we thought it was a pretty good run. Let's go and pick him up.
Yeah, this is a good run. He's got Mambo model, beautifully drawn on the inside, and Callum Murray rides it. It's over 14.50, its debut. And it gets into a good position early. The pace is on. You know, Annie the Great gets up there through thick and thin. They're the front two who go out. And this horse is not far off the pace and runs a very good race because it's given a good ride, James.
Well, what happens with it is it just completely loses its position here as they start turning for home, and they all quicken up past it because it's obviously been told to give it a chance, let her find its feet. She's a Bambo in Seattle out of a Tiger Ridge mare bred by Mudon's Hook, and you know, the old favourites own it, Balherba and the team.
Yeah.
And you'll see here she loses touch.
6th. Yeah, she's trying to get into the race. Annie the Great has said hi-ho silver. It doesn't look like a big horse, Annie the Great, but it's scooting now through the 600, gone clear, and through thick and thin, chasing hard. And as you say, James, it's not finding its feet yet. It's into 5th place, and it only finds its feet when the race is over, this Mambo.
Absolutely. She only really gets going now. She gets out for a run. Callum Murray now says to her, okay, come on, let's kick it on. And I like the way she finished it off because I think that certainly looks like she's got a big action. She's going to stay all day. And at this stage, she's not going to run no closer than 5th. But it runs on really nicely. And I thought that was a good run.
Bell Tower, your winner. Well done to Scott Kenny and Gunther Frockman. The hits keep on coming for him. Good ride to get it up. But keep an eye on that. The cock horse will be back soon.
Right, we move on to Turffontein, and this was Saturday's race meeting, and Michael Azzi's got a slew of very nice horses, and Michael and Adam, because I had a chat with Adam about this, and he says this is a very nice horse, Manhattan Cocktail. We're going to pick it up at the start of Turffontein.
Yeah, no idea. Please watch the start because it doesn't know what it's doing. And as they come out the gate, the horse just is completely reluctant, loses ground, slow into stride, and is completely lost. The pace is on. A horse going off the front, I think it's called Glacus. That is a stablemate. That goes very quickly, and the sniper gets that. It falls out of the race. But, you know, Tommy the Builder, Greta, they're all getting up there. But the horse we found is on the fence at the back.
Yes, it's Manhattan Rain Colt. And you know, Manhattan Rain's a sire of last year's Met winner, was quite topical, Whiskey Baron.
Whiskey Baron, and the slipper winner.
Yeah, and
won the slipper.
You see this grey horse is now second last.
Choice.
Yeah,
very well bred horse. He's starting to throw some very big horses. But this is a long way back, and your eventual winner is a horse called Hero's Honor, who wins very well. It wins a very good race, this horse, from Gary Alexander and Lee Dalpesh. And you can see it beautifully placed in Lawrence Werner's colours with the red sleeves in third or fourth. The horse that we're speaking about is at the back on the inside and way out of the race.
Yeah, and you'll see he doesn't get any type of run here at all. There's no way he can get through there. But Adam told me that they told Lyle Hewson, wait your turn and give this horse a chance and make sure you get a clear run on him. And you see Lyle now come out. And this horse starts running on.
Yeah, the Hero's on his home. Dalpesh has timed it perfectly. It's gone. Nothing really is going to get a blow in. Then out of the pack comes Manhattan Cocktail on debut.
Yeah, very good run for, you know, Andre Fouchier, Brett van Lawn. They've been in the game a long time and they deserve a nice horse. And I think this horse might be quite a nice horse. The winner won easily, but have a close look at this next time. It runs over a bit of ground. It will know more about it. And if it's in the right race, I would think it would be ready. We move on to the Scottsville on Sunday, and Doug Campbell, very interesting race this. Stepped out this horse, Lovely Luca. Now, if you had anything to look at in the morning and watch the betting, you'd see that he had the favourite, Rose Hill, in the race, Marcus ridden, and there was money for this horse, and the money never stopped coming. Well, we think that with a run under the belt, she'll probably go in. You know, Dougie can get them ready.
Oh, yeah, Doug can get them ready. Rose Hill ran a very good race, honest race in second. And Philadelphia Girl for Dennis Dreyer wins. But let's have a look because it's in the yellow silks. Lovely Luca. My name is Luca and I live on the second floor. Yeah. This is, as James says, it found support. Let's have a look at the race. You'll see it in the yellow silks coming out of trap 9.
Yeah, drawn 11, came into 9. It got away quite well. Nothing too bad. It's got the sheepskin noseband on, right in the middle of the pack at the moment. Schwartz has got it up there. She's by Visionaire, this side of a Cahal mare, bred by Summer Hill. And there she...
Yeah. It's a good run, James, because the pace is on. The stablemate who runs second, Roseville down the inside, Pharaoh's Tiger down the middle. These are showing pace, but Lovely Luca is not too far adrift.
No, she, as you can see her right in the middle of the picture in the yellowish colours, next to the horse with the white blinkers that the sniper got. And you'll see the winner comes up on her inside, on her left-hand side, the filly of Dryers, Philadelphia Girl. But this filly, she keeps on going and she doesn't get a hard ride. She got a smack or two and she's now in behind the winner. But this run will have done her the world of good. And she nearly beat her stable companion. Yeah. I thought it was a cracking good run.
Very good run. By Visionaire, bred by Summerhill.
Yeah, yeah. I mentioned that already.
I'm just repeating it for the people who nodded off.
Are you the Echo?
Beg your pardon?
Echo. Okay. Well, I think that we've had enough of that. We can go and see what shouldn't happen. that dog's about to take off. It's got its flaps out and it's ready to rock and roll. And
that horse is really going down
the
low.
Snow. Well, you know, in this, when you got a bit of snow, you got to have a bit of dog to eat. You know, because dog.
Looks like he's got reindeer ears.
It's called a cold dog.
Cold dog. Okay.
Yeah.
As
Humans eat hot dogs.
Eat cold dogs.
Eat cold dogs.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay. So you got that information. That's fantastic. I'm so pleased you're all, as I say, with the game. But you can watch the full unabridged version on the Gold Circle website, YouTube. Go there and check it out. What do we got now? We got Plummer of the Week.
Plum, yeah.
Yeah, Plummer of the Week.
Looked a certainty.
Yeah, this was a good thing. Absolute good thing. We picked it up.
Out in front, Boy Scout has the lead from head of the pack towards the outside. The odds-on favourite, Prince Odyssey, starts to creep closer over towards the inside with his supremacy in behind these. They come to the final 400. Boy Scouts in front. Now Prince Odyssey given more bridle and comes forward to take it up. Head of the pack towards the outside. Boy Scouts in front, but down the inside, Prince Odyssey coming home strongly in the centre as they come to the 200. Prince Odyssey's taken it up from Boy Scout in behind that, then head of the pack. And Prince Odyssey's drawing away from Boy Scout. Prince Odyssey's in front. Boy Scout trying to come back up the outside, but Prince Odyssey will go on from Boy Scout. Prince Odyssey has won it from Boy Scout, then came head of the pack, a long way back to his supremacy and Big Boy Benji.
Well, after this horse's first run, we said, this is a nice big horse. Have a close look at him. Was one of the three to follow. He took a bit of time because they then gelded him. He's had 2 runs back, but he looked like he's improved, and this looked like the race for him. He's opened up 2-1 this horse. Sure. He ended up 7-10. You could have got even money on Interbet at any stage. And the good luck to Pete Steyn, first and second in the race.
I think he ended up 7-20. They didn't stop with this horse.
Yeah, they didn't stop.
Yeah.
No, 7-10 was the price, but he ended up short, and you could have got even money on Interbet any time. A race he bred by Sunfleet.
Very good. I think Pete had first and second.
Yeah, first and second for him. Good race for him, and certainly what a way to start off your weekend. That looked like the business. Yeah. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with current affairs.
Well, the key features for me are I play a lot of soccer 10s, soccer 6s, and soccer 4s on the tote. And the key feature for me is that I can follow online the payouts as the soccer matches are going, and see exactly where I stand. And if I see I'm winning a lot of money, I can always back the other team to cover myself as well. So even if I don't catch the soccer 10, I can still make money from it if I'm in a position where it's paying a lot of money. So that is the key thing for me, that I follow the in-play prices and payouts as they go.
Right, welcome back. We're now going to talk about current affairs, Jim, and not much racing around the country, but we see Mark de Kock has now got himself rolling in Dubai, which is a great plus. But let's talk about Mark de Kock. You had him on the phone last week, and he stepped up to plate and won a race already.
Yeah, well, Light the Lights, he was quite bullish about it. He said that it needed its run, and he was probably going to run it again. They hadn't done declarations, and he thought the horse had come on a lot. Sumion stayed around there, and we thought it was a cracking good race. And he also had a second.
Yes.
So the horses are starting to fall into place now. Those that have had a run, you can have a very close look at next time they run. You know, and the South Africans love to punt onto buy racing, especially Mike de Kock's horses. So have a close look at them. And he's very good on his website. You can go to the www.mike.de and you can see what they say about the horses. And he's pretty accurate. Good website, and certainly worth having a good look at. So let's go and pick up Light the Lights. Let's go and see the race, because a nice first South African horse wins at the carnival. And born and bred, he's a good one, this one.
Now he links forward, so we're all set to go. The Badala Global Trophy. Shane Ryan sends them away from the 2,000 metres. Away quickly as San Shawware's out wide, driving up on the outside of Leshlar, who's trying to hold a spot off the inside. Sharpalo just off them. Light the Lights now going forward. Born to be Alive, a little keen over on the inside with nowhere to go in the early stages. Then Blair House, Team Talk, and dropping back to the tail of proceedings is another touch. They come down towards the course proper now with 1,600 metres to go. The first 400 metres sectional to come up shortly as they race their way down the back straight, and San Shawware's dictates the speed. It's fairly moderate, 27.87, shows the way, leading by a length. Over on the inside, Leshlar in second. Whipping around the outside, Team Talk goes forward, followed by Light the Lights. Born to be Alive down on the inside of Sharp Polo. Then came Blair House, and Tilling Soweto another touch at the rear. So they meander by the final 1,200 metres, and the front runner is San Shawware showing the way. So the 8-year-old's out by a clear length. Moving to second on the outside is Leshlar. Moved off the fence there, and Born to be Alive, who's been a shade keen, got it right up on the inside. They were followed next of all by Team Talk as they come down the side. Light the Lights just lost a spot or two. Sharp Polo went through to its inside, followed by Blair House, and next of all is another touch as they come to the top of the lane. 600 metres to go, and San Shawware's rolled off the fence. Born to be Alive gets up on its inside. They were followed then by Team Talk as they come to the top of the lane. Just off them, Leshlar travelling reasonably well between them. They were followed by Sharp Polo. Now coming to the outside, Blair House. Behind them, Light the Lights is just strung up between horses. Another touch was next. San Shawware's quickly joined through on the inside by Leshlar, and down the outer comes Blair House, and also Light the Lights, who lets go with a very strong sprint. It's Blair House the outside. Light the Lights is going with it. They're beaten off Leshlar. Light the Lights puts his nose in front. Blair House not done with on the outside, but Light the Lights is just a little bit too strong. Pulls clear in the late stages for Simeon, and Light the Lights a neck over Blair House, a gap off to Leshlar. They were followed by Sharp Polo, who battled on well. Then came another touch running on quite well towards the end.
Well, there we go. Well done to Michael de Kock, Light the Lights, and Christophe Soumillon, seen to great advantage.
Oh, he's a great rider, isn't he?
Great
you know,
person.
they would have tried to keep him in, but he got out just in time.
Yeah.
And, you know, to beat those Godolphin horses is not easy. You
Charlie
know, Buick and that was Blair House that he beat. He's quite a nice horse. He's well rated. Yeah. And I thought Light the Lights was fantastic, and a great advert again for us. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
And just talking about adverts for us, we just had the Cape Premier Sale and CTS, and it was amazing, the overseas buyers there and how they propped up the market.
Yeah, wonderful to see them. You know, the likes of the Hong Kong boys coming into town. Mark Richards and his partner John Ferguson was in. You know. Amanda Skiffington. These are serious players, and good to see William Haggish, his son John Kilbride. I'm trying to think. There were lots of them that came into town.
Lots of them, yeah.
And a lot of them bought. They were fantastic. Mick Flanagan came in for the Irish. Paul Shanahan was there. These are serious players around the globe, and hats off to what I can only say was one of the best speeches I've heard in a long time by Chris van Niekerk at the cocktail party. I can't remember much of Mark's, neither can he.
No,
but
none.
But an impassioned speech from Mark de Kock, but a wonderful speech from Chris van Niekerk. But well, I was extremely pleased that the vendors came through, and the quality is always there. It's a strong sale. It's very early in the year, Your national guests come streaming in and they buy.
Yeah, I loved Beach Beauties first Vaal by Dynasty, and fantastic to see a multiple Group 1 winner, champion sire, and you produce such a nice specimen. And the overseas guys bought some very, very nice horses.
Yes,
Barry Irwin, he was there as well.
Yeah, that's right, from America, Barry Irwin, good to see him. Patrick Shaw was buying, I believe, for Singapore.
Patrick Shaw, yeah, he was.
Yeah, so
there is man Mark, I think Mark Young, Singapore.
That's right. Yeah,
so T-Men Stables. Yeah.
That's right. So there was a big gang of them buying horses, and the locals stood up and bought two very good sales for the Fastfonteins and Pippa's bunch. Everyone tour. They were all thrilled. I think most people came away very pleased with what they got for their horses. So just shows the industry's in a good place.
Yeah.
And it's going the right
worldwide,
way.
That's a factor. The worldwide industry is in a good place.
Yeah.
And this week, obviously, we got the Met. So
yes. Now,
before we go any further, what do you like for the Met?
I think a very hard horse to beat will be O Susanna, 51.5. Wanting the strip by Street Cry. She's getting better and better. She ran behind her champion in the Fillies Guineas, her champion stablemate. Was a Snow Dance.
Snow Dance, yeah.
Snow Dance, she's a superstar. And then she went over the 18 and she absolutely slaughtered them and in the Group 1. And I think with 51.5, those top horses are very good, but they're not going to give her this weight. And I think she's weighted to beat them. All those hard hitters are not going to have the speed to beat over this trip.
Well, you've got Snow Dance running, and then you've got the Cape Derby, which shows us every
That's a great race.
What's the 3-year-old crop look like, and there's some nice horses in there, Eyes Wide Open's out there, Tapper North, Guineas winner. So it really does look like a very, very nice race indeed.
It's a great race day, James.
Great race day, yeah. Super race day, 12 races.
And the young horses with new stallions, 13
races.
13, James. And
good gracious, 13. I never looked over the page.
There's a couple of Pomodoros and the baby races that I think will run well. It'll be a great plug for some of the new stallions coming through. But I always look forward to this meeting. It's a superb meeting.
The best part about it is that straight after that, you can go and have dinner, and then you turn on your TV set when you get home, and you can watch a Pegasus World Cup.
You turn on your TV set, okay?
Yeah.
Lovely.
No, you got to turn on the TV
set. The Pegasus is looking like a fantastic race as well. What's the Gunrunner with you?
Gunrunner, he's there.
Gunrunner Goodman?
Yeah, Gunrunner Goodman. Look, he's a good thing, Gunrunner. Gunavera, okay. Yeah. Sharp Azteca.
Remind them what they're racing for.
$16 million. Yeah. And then Toast of New York, Frankie's coming over to ride it, Jamie Osborne's runner, and they say settled in well. And
I'd love him to win it, James.
That would be a fairy
phoenix
tale,
rising from the ashes.
Yeah, that would be a fairy tale. Fairy tale. As far as other news is concerned, obviously if you're going to Dubai, you've got to get yourself sorted out with Phil Giorgio. Let's go travel. They're going to the Super Saturday.
And then the big day.
And then the big day. So he's doing 2 trips this year, Super Saturday and the big day. I think Super Saturday is a 4-day or 5-dayer. So you can go and do both of them. And I'm certainly thinking of being there on Super Saturday. Dubai World Cup.
I will be at the World Cup, James.
I'm getting my accreditation sorted out. I'll definitely be there.
I'll get my accreditation sorted as well for the big day. I want to go. International visitors are streaming in. Phil was speaking to me. People coming from Thailand, that are friends of his. People coming from obviously Scotland and England. When I say obviously, they come every year. Dougie Livingston and his mates, and Mark Johnson, and it's a wonderful squad. And what was pleasing for me with regard to this year's race, I spoke to Michael de Kock, and I said, "How are the big horses doing?" And he said, "Whiskey Baron's flying. Was it Al Salem or whatever it is? He's really doing well. These are top horses that he's got. Noah from Goa, they're coming through, and he's going to have a strong hand."
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You've got to get out there. If you want to get out and really have a great time racing, this is the time to go. Get on, let's go travel.
Let's go travel. They're the business. Unfortunately, we haven't got a slide up, but we'll have one up next week.
James,
Phil, as usual, he was grazing rather than getting the slides up.
Tell us, Jim, you'll be going to the Super Saturday because of the golf.
I'll be going to Super Saturday because of whatever else is there.
But there's always a couple of rounds of golf that you love.
There's a couple of pikeys we can take some cash
off. But there's no Shea this year?
No, and Gerodis. Gerodis. So they retired pikeys, retired jockeys.
Talking about retired, one of the greats of the industry, Dave Mollett, is reaching retirement age. He has no pension. Have a look at this. He gave James and I one each because he wants us to come to his testimonial lunch. But the reason we put it up there that, as you can see, he's really put a great service to the industry as Molly. He's, you know, get the lolly with Molly, and for years and years and years, and he hasn't a pension. And anyone wanting to attend the lunch or give a donation can contact Keith Waterston on advf@mweb.co.
It's a sad situation, you know, yes. I'm in the same place, 43 years, trained horses, no pension.
No
we
pension.
don't have pensions. and funny enough, we organised it through Sandy Christie and Turffontein years ago. We had a pension and everything sorted out, and eventually the Trainers Association got taken over by some other guys, and they closed the pension. We had a pension with
that's madness. You know, there should be every facet. When you put your life in the industry, whether it's a groom, a trainer, a jockey, an administrator, most of them have got. The jockeys and administrators have got.
But the press, I feel really bad for the press. You know, a guy like Molly, he gives his heart and soul to the business.
He's presented, he's written, he's travelled overseas, he's been the voice from the UK many times. He's, you know, those rose-tinted glasses of his, you can't get the lolly with Molly. He's been a great friend to all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And, I've one endearing memory of him, James.
Yeah.
When him and I got invited to play in one of these golf days for a sales organisation before a sale, and they put me in a cart with him with a case of beers. And we came to about the 13th, had camera crews all over the place. And Molly and I were rubbish, but he stuck one on the green.
Were you rubbished?
Rubbish. We were rubbished. And they had a cameraman filming Mike de Kock teeing off next door. And we were and he had a 100-foot putt, Molly for the lolly. And Molly, I said, Molly, put it up close and try to get a par. Molly stuck it in. So I did a dance around the ring screaming. The cameraman said, what's going on? And he said, well, I said, Molly's just putted a 100-foot putt. He said, no. I said, Molly got it from there. So he said, what we'll do, put Molly back there, we'll film him putting it, and when it misses, we'll pick up the ball and just throw the last bit, and we'll link the two together, showing Molly get the putt. Molly went back up there. No, put it together. Hold it again. Molly, hold it again. He probably got 12 points for the whole day, but he got a birdie that day. Talented, the goalkeeper from Halifax. Talented boy, our Molly. No, so he's been around, and if in any way you can help or get out to his testimonial, please do. Yeah, a man who we really love.
Well, Keith Waterston's running it, who's a great friend of ours as well. You know, he's Gary Waterston, Gary and Russell's brother. And you can always email him to run your PVR back. I think it's called, emails advf at mweb. advf@mweb.
Even if it's a small donation, or try and get up there and try and listen to Molly's speeches.
Yeah. It will be a wonderful day, and hopefully we'll be able to get there. It just depends how much is going on here, but we'll certainly be supporting Molly, and hope you all support him too. What else have we got? I think that's it. There's one more. New Zealand have a group one called the Thornton Cup.
Okay.
And the Thornton Cup was won by a horse whose dam was by Black Milalouche. It's a Group 1.
Fantastic.
So Black Milalouche, a dam of a Group 1 winner, a sire dam of a Group 1 winner in New Zealand, which was very good for us over the weekend. You know, Black Milalouche stands here, and he's been one of those horses that always flown under the radar, but now Broodmare Sire is certainly worth having a look at.
As Chris Van Niekerk said, it'll all be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Never forget that. Very good word. Very good words by Chris Van Niekerk. Let's make it work, this industry.
Right, well, last week we chatted to Patrick Shaw about what happened in South Africa and how he ended up getting to Singapore. This was no easy ride, and Patrick's now able to tell us exactly what happened and how the whole thing ended up coming about. Pat, we just touched on it last week about, you know, you'd had a chat to Bernard about maybe going there, and the Singaporeans were interested in getting you there. And you believed that you could get the horses out of South Africa. You had a whole string here lined up to go there.
I had 18 horses lined up to go. And I'd say a week before there was an outbreak. And 3 days before I got the call when they're supposed to be arriving, I got the call they're oncoming.
But people don't realize you've actually now moved your whole family there. You've rented a posse. You've had a look at Singapore racing. You're now waiting for some horses to arrive to get going, and everything's on track. No horses. So you phoned us. I was in Argentina with Ignacio Pavlovsky, and you said, find us horses.
Yeah, it was panic stakes because, you know, Singapore, everything you got to pay in 3 months in advance. And when you're paying in rands, converting to Singapore dollars, it was I already paid for the house, already paid for a car, to lease the car, already brought my dog over. So we were there. Ricky already arrived because obviously I needed staff. So everybody was there waiting. My boxes were already, my quarantine boxes that they gave me at Bukutima, old Bukutima racecourse. And obviously,
nothing.
I'll never forget, I was sitting in movies and I saw Brian Roo on my phone 3 times. I thought I'll give the first one a miss because I watched the movie. But when I saw him phoning 3 times in a row, and I said to Wendy, let me just go take this, it sounds urgent. And I got the message, they ain't coming. I didn't enjoy the movie.
You're lucky you have a wonderful support group, and obviously Wendy is a huge part of your support because she has been by your side from the beginning of this whole thing.
Oh yes, you know, everybody says behind a successful man there's a good woman, and Wendy's one of those, a hard driver, but I think I needed that in my life. I think I needed somebody to get me going and had the belief in me, and obviously Wendy was the one who was the drive.
And she's still there, driving you along.
Oh yes, yeah, driving and spending.
And making tea.
Yeah.
And she knows how to make your tea.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Ricardo obviously has now taken over from you, but he's been there from the beginning as well.
Yeah, Ricardo started me 2 years before I left for Singapore at Ryankies. He came from Joe, but obviously from Joe Soma, but obviously I had a team already, you know. I believe behind every successful trainer and any successful yard is your team.
Yeah.
And throughout my career, starting from day one, even though I couldn't pay them as much, but I tried to keep my team to the best, like Declan Cronin, one of the best horsemen we all know.
Well, he's now with Mike in Dubai.
He's now with Mike.
Yeah.
Declan was my assistant in the beginning and went on to be assistant later on with Jackie Dutert, who worked for Joy, who I got in only at 17 years old, and she's still with me.
She's still with.
She's still with. Well, she's still with Ricardo at the moment, and from there I had Brian de Villiers, Nathan Kotson, you know.
But as well as that, you did it with jockeys as well. You had Johnny Girodas, you've had Byron Foster, you've used these guys and you've stuck with them forever.
Yeah, I always believed that racing is a team. And if you can keep your team together, happy, have a happy stable, happy horses, happy yard, you always... And like I say, Johnny was with me for years until he got a bit heavy and for Singapore, and obviously he went on to Mark in Dubai, and then I got in Barent and Mark Duplessis, who spent a good couple of years with me, and Barent's still with me.
Yeah.
Robbie Fred spent 5 years with me, so you know I've always kept the team as much as I could.
And now Naresh Jaglal's obviously got a lot to do.
Yeah, Naresh was with us the last 2 years when I was there. Good person, good rider, got his head on in the right way, and a hard worker.
All right, let's go back to now. You suddenly got to find some horses. We got some Argentine horses. When the Singaporeans, especially those Australian trainers, heard that you were getting horses from the Argentine, they laughed.
Well, it was never ever done before, James. So, which
apparently
made it,
they had bought them, but they weren't any good.
No, they were Chilean.
Yeah.
There was only a
horses,
Chilean, yeah. And Malcolm Thwaites, those days, he paid a lot of money for it, and it became a flop. And from then on,
South American
horses never worked. And I arrived with the Argentinians, and because they never had handicaps, they overrated my horses, and you couldn't explain to the handicapper that, you know, these are only 1- and 2-time winners in Argentina and the racing. Because some of them I had to send back, 2 I had to send back because they were rated 90, because they ran 16 lengths fourth in a grade 1 in the 2-year-old race. So, and the rule was then, if you ran in the first 4 in a grade 1, you automatically go 90. The horse was a pony. I sent it back because Bernard wouldn't put his horses down and fed them, and I sent them back to Michael. And funny enough, they never even did any good in South Africa. So, you know, that was the type of horses we got.
The problems that you had with
starting.
But there was one that turned out that looked like I think was a good horse.
My first one was a horse called Consabona. Fortunately, it was one of those races where the pace was all wrong, because he never had the class, I don't think, but I think the guards were looking after me, and it was, well, the one jockey got 3 months suspension for cutting the other one's throat, and it fell onto my lap, and I just said to Johnny, smother him, and let him come, and he arrived, and it was a cup race, so my first winner, and all of a sudden I got exposure, and from there on, like I said, Fred and I had a meeting at the hotel. He flew up straight away. We had a meeting, and I said, if we can buy a little bit more expensive than what we've just spent, we can, because I now can judge more or less what's out there. And he said to me, go ahead, go buy six of, and then I got the Bliss Blessers, the Q Expressions, the Warns. They ended up horses of the year for 2 years running. So, you know, and all of a sudden Argentina became horses you got to follow. So even the local owners were coming to me and saying, buy me an Argentinian, buy me an Argentinian, buy me an Argentinian. And the Argentinians dominated, and they still do. You know, in all those Gold Cups, they're all Argentinian.
Okay, obviously to buy horses in Argentina, you've got to have the right man. And Ignacio Poloski, I know, has been the backbone of your operation.
Yeah.
He's honest,
Yeah.
and he knows horses probably as well as anyone.
Correct.
He's a
Great
wonderful,
horseman.
wonderful man.
Yeah, Ignacio, I was fortunate to meet him in South Africa when I was training. Yeah, they actually wanted to purchase one of my horses. He came out with Mary Slack and them, and I was fortunate enough to go to dinner with him, and I met him there, and that's how I ended up phoning him, and you were there apparently. I did speak to you, and you know, that's how and from there on, Ignacio and I for the last 17 years have always done deals, and I'm still buying Argentinian horses.
They're not only good stayers, but some of them can sprint as well.
Oh yes, I've had some good sprinters. Yeah, I've had some good sprinters.
Run us through a few of them, Pat.
Albach,
Tell us some of the big races.
I had a horse called Albach in what's his name? I had a horse called British Navy. He was actually one of the fastest horses I had before Rocket Man. I actually tested him with Rocket Man because I thought this Rocket Man in work is just something else. But I thought I put him through the stages, and his last stage was, if you work with this horse, then you are something. Because I always thought he was something, but well, he made British Navy look like a he was then a 10-time winner. So, you know, then I started to realise he could be anything. Yeah.
It makes us think back to the years, I know when we were lighties, and these guys, especially in Durban, and even in Joburg, Breville and these boys, they told you that a baby that worked with a B division horse. You know, you knew it was good enough to win a baby race.
Oh yes, yeah, and like I say, I tested him with a maiden who had just won. I then tested him with a 3-time winner. I then put him with a 5-time winner called Blade Lager. He then went on to Amadeus Mozart, a 7-time winner, and then he went to the big school with British Navy. And I'll never forget the gallop. I mean, Robbie was posing. He was posing.
Robbie Fred was riding him.
Yeah. And I said to Robbie, just sit behind British Navy because obviously he's quick. And come into straight and give him a click. And within a matter of strides, it was like that. You know, he just put his hands down. And
all right, let's just talk about the tracks there and the different conditions and the different training, how different it is to training. Here we've got labour, which is easy to find. Most of the labour is quite good here. And, you know, there you have a whole different system.
Look, the labour, I must say, James, the labour in Singapore is also excellent. You know, a lot of Malaysians, they also use what they call sasses, which is grooms. But they're dedicated and they love the animal. So, you know, it's a big battle won when your grooms get attached to the horses, and they love the horses. So that was a huge help.
Do they ride?
The climate, yeah, a lot of them ride work, but our grooms don't ride because obviously we work from the stable.
Yes.
You send out 7 at a time. You know, you got to do your work list the day before, unless obviously your temperatures aren't right or whatever in the morning.
Yeah.
But we do the work the night before, and then you just send out 7 at a time. The conditions are a lot harder in Singapore because of the weather, and I think that got me because everybody said to me, don't train them that hard, you know, because of the weather and the heat, and they don't take as much, and they don't. And for the first month I think that caught me a little bit, and afterwards I thought, no, I'm going back to the way I know and the way Bertie taught me from Reinkies. And even when I came to Durban, he always said to me, if ever you come to Durban, don't ever you change your work. Just work them exactly like you worked them in Johannesburg. And I started working exactly like I worked them in Durban and Johannesburg in Singapore. And that was, things started to turn.
Dehydration obviously was a concern because it gets very hot there. How do you handle something like that?
Funny enough, horses adapt quite quickly, James. It takes them about 6 weeks to 3 months to fully adapt. The first couple of weeks you'll find a lot of them sweating up, and obviously you drench a lot more. And we give them a lot of electrolytes in their feed, so that sort of keeps them balanced. But you'll find in 3 months they acclimatise fairly well, especially the Argentinians. Same for Australians, and that they might take a little bit longer, but I find horses adapt. They adapt.
And what you wash him after every workout, every morning?
Yeah, obviously we can't stand and groom because you know you got to. It's not as quick as you don't take 25 or 30 strings. It's not only 2 strings. We got like 7 or 8 strings.
Yeah.
So what you do is, as they come back, you hose them down, shampoo them, dry them off as quick as possible, and then back into the aircon. So.
And does that not affect their feet and that, you know, you find
you
that
do have feet problems. You do have feet problems. One of the main causes of feet problems. But obviously you got to be on top of it, and that's where your assistants are on top of it. You make sure of that, and good farriers. And
then different system as far as usage of any drugs is concerned. They have a jockey club vet, anything.
Yeah. Trainers
you're not allowed anything in your yard.
Trainers can't have anything. If they find you with a syringe or a needle, you're suspended. There's not even a doubt. So you know, and any drug or anything, the vet has to administer.
What do you think of the system? Do you think?
I think it's a very. I think I think it's a very good system. Excepting for places like South Africa, I think it'll be hard to install that because there's so many trainers and there's only a certain amount of vets. So if a horse has got a colic and I want to give it a shot of Buscopan or something, you got to take it down or wait for your vet to come, who might be in Pietermaritzburg, or he might be in Ashburton, or he might be busy doing an op. So you know, where Singapore, you always had them on hand, on course. So and you had 7. So it was simple. And to walk them down there was 5 minutes down to the veterinary clinic. So it's very, to implement it here, I think it would be quite difficult, but I think it's a great idea. And we enjoyed it there because it was clean racing. It was, you know, if anything went wrong, it was all written in your book and you could come back to it.
There was a reason.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
You look at training in Singapore, they all train on the same place, don't they?
Yeah,
all the horses train there.
We all
at
train on the
Singapore.
same track, yeah, all on course.
And they've got a grass, and then the inside track, is that a Tapita?
Poly
track.
Poly track,
yeah.
And we work on the poly as well.
So most of your work is done on the poly
track, and we race on the poly.
And you apparently instigated the building of another poly track there.
Yeah, we had instigated the uphill track for work because I just felt horses getting monotonous going around and around and around, and nothing better than a nice hill to let them do their little 800 burst, you know, from Summerfeld.
Yeah.
Lovely uphill. And it gets them going.
And talking about your colleagues there, those Australians, how do you get on with them?
Very well, you know.
They didn't get on well with you, apparently.
Obviously, there was a lot of, when the rugby was on, or the cricket, and then there was a bit of slinging going on. But otherwise, I respected them and they respected me. So I got on actually very well with all of them. Laurie, Kiwi, great guy, great trainer. John Ma, as you know, John. I think
John Ma, John Ma and you had a lovely relationship.
Yes, sure. No, it was a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
But anyhow, good man.
Yeah, most Australians, we have that hate relationship, not much love.
No, but it was good. You know, it was an experience that I'll never forget. And Singapore Turf Club, what more can I say about them? You know, they've given me every opportunity, and
it's a great operation. And Debbie Hawkins is there now.
Yeah, Debbie's now working for the Trainers Association. She's not working for the club anymore. But Singapore Turf Club, they went out of their way, and they will go out of their way as long as you play ball.
Pat, the racing experience there, it's different, isn't it?
Yes, James. It's different for owners and for trainers. I'll tell you why. Because your handicapping is different compared to here, which I've noticed since I've been back. Your stakes, it's one of the only places I can think of, because I've raced in Hong Kong, I've raced in Japan, I've raced in Dubai, that if you own a horse or horses, you can actually come out at the end of the day making a profit. You know, because you get your incentives, you get your trainer's incentive, you get your owner's incentive by just entering.
That is what, $900 a runner or something?
$900 a runner, yeah, as long as you don't win or you don't.
And what is your training fees there?
Our training fees are around about $3,000, touching $3,000.
So you can get most of that back in your
two runners a month, and we run them there, James. Yeah. We run them.
Well, obviously,
you know, we run them. We don't. So
do they give you boxes on how many runners you have over the season? Do they have that type of thing?
No.
So if you have
60 is normally the limit, but they will allow you 10 or 15 spelling boxes, which is up at the spelling place. So you can more or less have a string of 75, which, you know, in a stable of 75, you got 45 racing and the rest on the second name and lazy list. So it's a good system.
You met obviously a lot of very nice Singaporeans, people in Singapore. You had one big client, T-Men Stables. Tell us a bit about them.
Yes, yeah. T-Men was Tiem Yong, the late Tiem Yong. Good people. They actually met us from two days when I arrived. They phoned and said, listen, we're here from Savary, we want to take you for dinner. And they took us for dinner, and they stayed until the time I left, excepting the old man died, and Mark Young, who's now T-Men Stable, and Emily. They were stalwarts.
Great friends.
Great friends, still today, great friends, and great owners. Can't ask for better.
One thing will change your life forever, and that's training a champion. And the real champion is a horse that just goes unbeaten and nothing can beat him. And Rocket Man was that horse. How did you get him?
You know, like I say, good horses find you. I'd never bought horse from Andy, not because I didn't want to. Andy Williams, yeah. Not because I didn't want to, but it was just one of those things where, and I was mainly into Argentina. I was more into the Argentina. I used to go to Magic Millions and buy the ready-to-run horses. I mainly focused on the ready-to-run sale. And Andy phoned me out of the blue one day, and he said to me, I've got this horse. He's stuck in Australia. He was meant to come. He couldn't come because there was an outbreak, and he couldn't come to South Africa. Can you please help me find a buyer for him, and I'll send him to Singapore? And I said to me, who's he by? He said, Vaal, which, you know, I only remember Vaal when he ran in the Cox Plate, and I never knew much about him, and I didn't know much about it. And I said, well, send me the form and a photo. And he did. Within 20 minutes, he emailed me the form and the photo. And luckily, I recognized a horse called Our Giant.
Yeah.
That was the only thing on the whole page that stuck out. And when he sent me the photo, I looked at him and I thought, this is a nice looking horse. And anyhow, I phoned Andy back and we spoke price, and I said, fine, I think I'll take him. And you know, those days I just used to phone Fred and say, I bought your horse. And I phoned Fred, I said, I bought your horse, and if you'll just pay Andy in South Africa, whatever. And that's how Rocket Man fell on my lap. So.
Okay, well, what we're going to watch next week is we're going to watch Rocket Man's career, which was some type of career, and then the race they named after Rocket Man. Pat, in closing, he was just some phenomenal horse.
Yeah, James, he was a special horse, you know, in a lot of ways, and I think he changed a lot of lives. I must say, he was a horse that made you get up in the morning, because when I just noticed that he was something special, I phoned Fred. I said,
I just want to stop you there. That's an old cliche, made you get up in the morning. You got up in the morning your whole life for one reason. You didn't want anyone to see something that you missed.
No.
So you were there, boy.
No, I got to admit, I was in a bad space at that time.
Yeah. It just shows you.
I was in a bad space, and I think he changed. He brought me out of that.
Yeah.
It was, for some reason, I got into a bad place and in my mind, and I think he changed all of that, our lives, from my assistants to Wendy's to mine. I mean, it was something to look forward to. He was one of those horses where you wanted to go and see him, or you wanted to go and watch him work, or you wanted to, you know, he just had something presence about him. He was, you know, I know everybody says about Frankel. I can understand how Sir Henry Cecil, you know, everybody said Frankel, he waited
kept
for
him
Frankel.
alive, yeah.
Correct. So I understand when I hear things like that. A lot of people think, you know, just because he was a good horse. But Rocket Man just had a presence. And he pulled me through a lot. He's pulled a lot of my staff through a lot, so including the size. So, you know, I think he was just one of those presents. He had that presence. There was something about him.
Patrick, it's been a pleasure chatting to you, and next week we'll watch Rocket Man. And thank you for being the great ambassador you've been to South African racing. We all looked up at you and have been very grateful that you've been part of our lives. And I think there are many owners out there and many people in racing who are indebted to you. And certainly, I would think Fred Krabbier and Bernard Cantor and some of your other owners obviously had the best of it with Pat Shaw. And thank you for coming to chat to us.
Thank you so much, James. And I'm fortunate to have them for so long in my life. You know, not every owner can keep, trainer can keep owners for 20, 23 years, 25 years. So I was fortunate.
Right, good things happen to good people, I can tell you that. And next week we're going to watch Rocket Man's career, which is absolutely fascinating. because what happened was Singapore Turf Club put together a video of him about 2 years after he had retired and made a presentation and whatever, and we see all his races, see the build-up, see exactly what it's all about, and then we'll watch the race that showed Rocket Man. They made a race for him called the Rocket Man Stakes, and that in itself is a big tearjerker. So until next week, or the week after next, next week, we will look forward to seeing you again.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.